growing podcast up in the world right now, you know. Say word. Only fans, real estate, talking in fashion, let them know what's happening. Say word. On and off the court, in the field with the sports, let them know what's up. Say word. The conversation is active, from movies to action, it's the main attraction. Say word.
Hey yo, another episode, the world's fastest growing podcast. We back in Houston, Texas right now. I got a very, very special guest, one of the Houston legends.
I don't know about that, JoJo.
This is what they telling me.
Is that what they saying?
That's what they telling me. I done made a couple phone calls. They's like, it's a Houston legendary.
Well, okay.
The people love you.
Okay. Well, I love the people.
Well, let's hear it from Mr. Mayor Sylvester Turner. Let's give him a hand clap right now.
Thanks.
First of all, I appreciate your time. I know you're a very, very busy person. Thank you for your time.
Never too busy for you, man.
Appreciate you, man. We really, really appreciate that. I want to take it from the beginning, though. Let's take it to growing up in acre homes.
Acres home, the fofo.
The 4-4? That's what they call it?
The fofo.
I don't know what that means, but
They
that...
get it right now. It's
Okay. All right.
You know, now on the East Coast, they say 4-4.
Okay.
Down South, they say fofo.
4-4. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me put that in my pedigree.
And that was the bus route.
Okay.
So the bus coming from downtown would wind its way north, come through the northwest side, the Acres Home area,
Okay.
and it was the Studi Wood 44. But phonetically speaking, those of us in the hood said
Okay.
the fofo. So I called the fofo growing up. That was my way of getting around. And then took the fofo downtown, and then took another bus to University of Houston. That's how I made it through.
What's been the biggest change from back then to like now you've been seeing as time is going on?
You know, things have changed. I still live in the fofo.
Say, for real?
I have never left my neighborhood.
Oh, you really like keeping it real,
With the exception
I'm out.
With the exception of my time away in school,
Okay.
college and law school, I've always stayed in Acres Home.
I love
And
that.
in part, that was because of my mom.
Okay.
My mom made a request of me. I come out of a family of 9, but she told me, she said, look, the kids out here know you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask 2 things of you. I want you to always stay in Acres Home. As a reminder to all these kids that they can grow up and be successful. And then the second request she made, and I don't ever want you to sell my home.
Okay.
So keep the home here. She said, you may not need it, but someone in this family one day may need this house. So I want you never to sell it, and I want you to always make sure that it's properly kept.
I like that. I like that, man. Let's give a hand clap for your moms, for real.
Amen.
I've been in Houston for 20 years.
Well, you're a Houstonian.
No.
I know you got that accent.
I'm a New Yorker.
Okay, all right.
But like I'm saying that, but the reason I say that is because when I came here, I was like 25. I'm 45 now, and this is a marvelous, wonderful city.
Yeah, it is.
Let's just keep it real. This is one of the best cities in the world.
But I like New York, too.
New York is cool,
Yeah, I like New York.
but I'd rather live here.
Okay.
And New York is, listen, don't be mad at me. I love y'all, but like it's cool to go home. But being in Houston is like one of them cities that is it's affordable living. The food is great.
Highly diverse.
Diverse. A lot. Spread out. A lot of ladies for the single guys.
Oh, plenty.
I mean, I'm not looking.
Plenty.
I got no problems.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Single, smart,
yes, they outside.
productive.
They out there.
Innovative.
I'm looking. They out there.
You're not going to find better women in any other city than right here in this city.
Ooh. You say
Not-
Atlanta?
Atlanta.
You think Atlanta got Houston?
Atlanta is second class to Houston.
Listen, man, I ain't got no problem. I got no problems. I'm rolling with that.
No, it's a good city. It's a good city.
What's something about Houston that if you had to say to people, like if they wanted to come visit, or be a reason for them to come visit?
You know, what I've found is that if you're outside of Houston, and especially the state, when they say Houston, they're thinking, horses and cows.
I definitely thought that.
All wells and
Hats,
stuff like that.
yeah,
Hat and all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But when they come here, I think they see a cosmopolitan city. We're a little bit country and a little bit chic all at the same time.
I like that.
So if you want to put on your cowboy hat and boots, hey, no problem. But if you want to dress chic, cosmopolitan, you can do that too. So I think there's a little bit of something for everybody. And then at the same time, I think people are genuine. We're diverse, but we strive every day to be more inclusive. And so if you want to make a living, you can do that right here. Now, we may not necessarily have the glitz of some of the other cities, but in terms of being able to take care of yourself, your family, you can do that right here. And then at the same time, if you want that urban, dense living, you can find that. But if you want a little bit more space, at front yard, backyard, a little bit more space, you can find that here as well.
I could dig that. I could definitely see that. A young Mayor Sylvester Turner, growing up, 9, 10, 11, 12, did you think you would be like the mayor? Like what's anything else you wanted to be or do?
Neither one of my parents graduated from high school.
Oh, wow.
So, my dad died early when I was 13. My mom was the maid at the old Wright's Hotel downtown. So she reared 9 kids. So my mom was the CEO of the Turner household. She got us ready to go to school. She would catch that fofo and head downtown. My staycation was getting on that bus and then coming downtown. And then I walked down Main and Travis and Louisiana. I looked at all those buildings and people coming in and out. And I just said, when I was 14, 15, 16, I said, one of these days, I'm going to be in one of those buildings. I didn't know what they were doing, but I said, one of these days. And so what ended up happening, going to law school on the East Coast, law firm came, interviewed. I was at Harvard at the time, and they said, we would like for you to come and work with us. They said their office was in Houston. I said, well, where's your office located? They said in downtown Houston. I said, you got me.
I like that.
And so I came, went with them downtown, stayed there for a moment, and then down the road is when the whole thought of me being mayor. But initially, I just wanted to be the lawyer.
Okay.
Okay. And then I got into public service because one of my brothers suffered from intellectual developmental disabilities.
Okay.
Some behavioral challenges. And I would ride the bus with my mom to get, for him to get the care he needed. And it was hell being poor. Because all they told my mom, when he becomes a danger to himself or somebody else, bring him back. But short of that, there's nothing we could do. And I would ride back on the bus, and I would say, that's a damn shame. Need help, you don't have the money. And so that's what propelled me into the political and public arena.
I respect
And
that.
then things took off from there.
What music was you listening to back then?
I listened to all kinds, man. Country.
Country?
I graduated from Klein High School in Northwest Houston, 90% white.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So when it comes to FHA or whatever.
Yeah.
So that, jazz has always been a favorite. Soul, the genre covers the whole gambit, So I just enjoyed music. That was the way it kind of calmed down my day. That hasn't changed.
Okay.
I'm not so much into the opera type of stuff.
Opera?
That's a little bit outside of the fofo for me.
I was dating this girl one time. She tried to take me to the opera. I was like, I can't do it.
I'll go.
I might dabble, but
yeah, but
she should have saved the money.
But all type of music, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm cool.
Okay. Balancing family, life, obviously being in the office, how do you do it?
Hey, man, you just try to make the most of your day. I think we all have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You try to live your purpose. Find your place. You know, when I grew up, you know, mom, you know, dad basically say, don't try to be somebody else. Be yourself, and find your purpose. And then they would always say, you know, God has given everybody something. So find out what God has given to you, and be true to that. And I'll try to subscribe to that. And then at the same time, you know, I wanted to do what I could to help my mom. I'm in the second half of there are 9 kids.
Okay.
So in the first half, my brothers and sisters graduated from high school, much smarter than
Okay.
I was. They went to the military. They started working to help my mom rear the second half. I'm in the second half.
You're in the second half. All right.
And so for on my end, you just try to balance as much as you can, and take advantage of life as much as possible. So you just gotta enjoy things. I just kind of roll with it, you know. I always say that you know, God controls our destiny. So you just kind of roll with it, let Him do what He does best, and then you just kind of follow the course that He sets. That's the way I look at it.
When you was at Harvard, what year was this when you was at Harvard?
From 77 through 80 at the law school
77. So you're on the East Coast.
on the East Coast.
How was that?
That was good. Too damn cold.
You like was
I never got used to that.
so you had to wear coats and that. Like I'm familiar with that. We know we New Yorkers, so we.
Man, I never forget in my first few months, it snowed. The first snow I'd seen, period. I ran outside, played in the snow.
He's playing in the snow.
Oh man.
College man playing in the snow.
Yeah, and got the flu.
Yeah, I could.
You know, I said this is messed up. But I love the East Coast. I had a great time. I went to Harvard sight unseen. I had never been to the school.
You didn't visit at all. You just signed up and just popped up.
I was heading to University of Texas
I was popping there.
because I was familiar with UT.
Okay.
I had gotten into Harvard.
Okay.
In fact, all the schools I applied to, I got into. But I was familiar with UT. And then 2 professors at University of Houston, when they found out I had turned Harvard down, they took me to lunch. And Joe, they said, Sylvester, we heard you got in Harvard, why you turned it down? I said, I'm not. I said, I just applied because I was going through the whole book and they were good school. But I'm familiar with UT. And they said, young man, take a second look. And they said, go to the library, read a little bit more. And I did. And so I changed my mind, but it was late in the admission process. And I called and said, can I still come? They said, you can come. But I had never gone. My mom, sister, and brothers couldn't afford. So my mom put everything that she thought I needed in a Foot Locker. They took me to the airport.
Wow.
And sight unseen, I took off. And my mom said, we'll see you at Christmas time.
Was you nervous?
Yeah. I was nervous, a little scared.
Okay.
I knew 2 people.
Okay.
One was the Dinah Escobedo, who was over the women's student movement at U of H. We worked together because I was, you know, in the Student Government Association, and her husband. And so what they said is that, look, you can stay with us until you find a place to, you know, to live. So I stayed with them for 2 weeks, then got another roommate, and we made it work. But yeah, sight unseen.
I wanna ask you this. Like we talking about this story. I'm gonna keep it here for a minute. Word up. What would you say to like a young African American that's about to go into that same situation?
Don't let fear paralyze you. Don't let what you don't know keep you from walking into your moment. You know, I could have just said, okay, I'm gonna stay with what I'm familiar with.
That's a big jump.
And not venture out. But I think there comes a point in time when you just have to say, I'm going for it. You know, I appreciate what the professors have said to me. They provided me with some additional insight. I did some additional research myself. But fear can hold you back. But what I discovered is that once I made the decision to go, boarded the plane, couldn't turn back. Once I got to Boston, the fear started to subside. So I think what I would say to folk is that, don't let the unknown or the unfamiliar keep you from venturing out and exploring something that you may not be as familiar with.
I like that.
So you got to push through. And if you say you're a person of faith, then you got to exercise your faith.
That's a fact. If you saying it,
Otherwise, stop.
yeah.
I never forget. I went rock climbing,
Rock climbing.
rappelling with a group of folk, and in this case, most of them were all white.
Okay. Shout out to them.
And they had said, Sylvester, let's go rock. We're gonna go rappel off this mountain. Number one, I didn't know what rappel meant,
I don't even know what that means.
So I-
Just listening to you.
so I said, okay, fine. And we flew to Oregon. We climbed up this mountain most of the day, and then they said we're gonna rappel off the mountain, and we're gonna go back down. So I said, when you say rappel, what do you mean? So they said, these ropes, we're gonna go to the edge of the cliff, and then we're gonna jump off. I said, you got to be doggone crazy. I said, you crazy as hell. And so they said, well, you said you knew, you were familiar with rappelling. I said, I lied. Hell, I'm from Acres Home. I said, there ain't no mountains in Acres Home.
That's a fact.
And so I was on we were doing it 2x2, and I went to the edge of the cliff, turned around with this friend of mine, and I kept saying, Jesus, 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 Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So my white buddy said, how long you gonna call on before we start jumping? So, and when he said it, it hit me. I'm the one on the mountain calling on Jesus. He's standing beside me, listening to me. And then he challenged me. He said, okay, are we ready now? And then I said to myself, well, it doesn't make any sense for me to be calling on you and not moving. So let's go. I jumped, yelled out quite a bit at the beginning.
Did you say Jesus?
I was saying, man, I was saying
I'm
Jesus.
familiar with that.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that.
But as I rappelled off the cliff, the more I went down, the fear went away. And I just said to myself, God was waiting on me. I called out on his name, but he was waiting on me to move. And once I jumped and exercised my faith, everything else settled down.
I like that. Let's give a hand clap for that. I wanna talk about, well, can you just give the world like a basic description of the legacy of Shelia Jackson Lee?
Oh man, there is but one and will ever be one Shelia Jackson Lee, the congresswoman of the 18th Congressional District. When I tell you she was a force of nature, she made things happen. She didn't wait for things to happen. She made them happen. In the halls of Congress, she was an effective legislator. But she didn't just stay in D.C. in the halls of Congress. She would fly back to her district every week, and sometimes more than once. And then she was very active in the 18th Congressional. She knew many people just by their names, and they knew her. She would go to people's homes, their churches, their banquets, their anniversaries, if you needed something, if you needed somebody to move a mountain, Shelia Jackson Lee. Okay? And I'm not talking from what I know. My mom was suffering from bad case of dementia. And I was trying to get her a hospital room and was having a problem. And I was state representative at the time. I called my friend, the congresswoman, and I said, look, Sheila, we need a bed at this hospital, and can you help me? She said, brother, let me get you off the phone. She was on the floor of the United States House of Representatives when she called me back.
So she got the juice.
Hey, man. And she said, brother, let me get you off the phone so I can do my work. 30 minutes later, I kid you not,
My.
3 administrators, not 1, 3, came walking down the hall, came directly to me and said, we have found your mother a room. And then they said, will you please call the congresswoman and tell her that we have handled the situation? So she made things happen, and she brought in billions of dollars from D.C. into the 18th Congressional. So you can't replace Shelia Jackson Lee. You can't do that. But I think what we can do is to keep her legacy alive, to keep the work going, and in her legacy, continue to serve people the way she did every single day.
We love that. Let's give a hand clap for that. The 18th district.
Yeah.
The motivation.
Yeah.
The inspiration.
Yeah.
Where's that coming from?
You know, with the exception of being away to school, I've always lived in 18. And, you know, to seek to follow her is an honor in and of itself. The Congresswoman and I knew each other for over 40 years. And at the same time, there are people in the 18th who still, many people who need the help. Whether it's health care, whether it's economic and business job opportunities, entrepreneurs, okay? Whether it's innovation, you name it. There's so affordable housing. And I think it's important that you continue that hands-on. You know, what I've discovered, JoJo, people don't get caught up on the titles.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to be able to approach you.
They want to be able to touch you.
To touch you.
Yeah.
They just want to be able to feel as though you're not talking down to them, but you know you're having a conversation. And if you do that, and that you hear them and see them, and you're not trying to game them, and that you're real, genuine. If you do that, then people will, you know, they'll help you move mountains. So for me, that's the legacy I want to continue. That's why I continue to stay where I stay. I don't try to belittle anybody else who want to go live in the lands. You know, Pearland, Woodland, Sugar. You know, that's fine. But for me, staying where I am, living where I am, that's a part of my purpose.
You basically like really answered like my next question. I was going to ask you about community engagement and how important is that to be that person when people could touch you, could be able to relate to you. And can you just elaborate more on that?
Well, I don't think you can serve without community engagement. How can you represent the folk if you're not amongst them? You know, people don't need me to tell them what their problems are. People in part need me to listen to their concerns, and then they want me to act on what's in their best interest. And the best way to do that is to be where they are. That's one of the things I give a lot of credit to my mom, who didn't graduate from high school. She said, if you want to represent them, then Sylvester, you need to be where they are. And this is the best place to be there. That's why as mayor for 8 years, I stayed right there. Nobody had to tell me about illegal dumping. Hell, I saw it. Nobody had to tell me about the need for community and economic revitalization. Businesses that once were thriving in these neighborhoods that were no longer there. I saw it every day, okay? not having quality grocery stores, okay? Banks that used to be in the neighborhood that are fled, I saw it right there. So community engagement is vital. You cannot represent the folk if you don't know what concerns them and what's top of mind for them. And then at the same time, you got to relate to them, And that's, people ask me, you're always out here dancing and stuff. Why are you doing that?
I seen you dancing a couple times.
Well, hey, man.
I see you moving and shaking. I mean, it's good to see you moving around, though.
It's a part
Word
of
up.
It's a part of the language that we speak. Nobody wants you to represent them if you can't understand them and relate to them. I think that's important. That's one of the reasons why I started riding horses. I'm from Acres Home.
Okay.
There are a lot of horses in Acres Home.
I seen a couple.
Okay, and because in Acres Home you can have a parade any weekend. They just get on their horses and they decide to take over the street. But those are the things that I think tie you closer to the folk. And so, but what my folks were saying, keep your feet on the ground. Don't start smelling yourself. And don't think that you're any bigger than somebody else. And you may have the label, but if you can have the label, but if you don't have the heart, what does that get you? So you gotta relate. You gotta hang out where folk are. I don't have any problems. I'm an older guy, so to speak. But I have problems going to clubs. I don't go. I go.
You be in the
sports.
clubs?
Oh, I can hang with the best, bro.
Oh, my bad.
I mean, don't get the age twisted now.
Nah, I hear you.
Yeah, but again, how you gonna represent people if you not?
That's a fact.
If you're not where they are, okay? Are they supposed to come to my house and tell me what their problems are? I think it's important for me to be out there. That's what the Congresswoman was doing. That's what I seek to do. And then at the same time, for a person like me, it's also important for me to usher in that new leadership.
Mm-hmm.
That next generation. So it's not just about doing things for yourself. I see myself as a bridge, not as the full interstate. So I'm kind of representing from where we are to that next generation. But it's important for people like me to nurture, mentor, advise, support, encourage, because you don't want to leave the scene and not have that next person prepared to step on line. So that's the way I see it.
Let's give a hand clap for that. Appreciate everybody. This Say World Podcast. Y'all know what it is. Today's youth. I feel like I'm getting older. I'm 45.
You're a young man.
But I feel like there's certain things I shouldn't be doing no more.
Okay.
In a sense, I feel like I'm 45. There's certain things I shouldn't be doing no more. What do you generally feel about today's youth? Because I feel like I love the fact that they're so like entrepreneur, like
right.
In a sense. Today's youth is really like a lot of entrepreneurs. What do you feel about them?
I'm optimistic.
Because we hear so much about them.
You
know what I mean?
I'm optimistic. They want their own business. They're creative. They're innovative, which I think is good.
They traveling.
They travel.
I ain't never traveled. Like I was going to Brooklyn, Queens, Amityville. They all over the country. I mean, out the country and everything now.
They don't see barriers. You can't say don't go here.
Mm-hmm.
No, they going. I like that spirit. They're daring. They're bold. They will challenge. It's not about do as I do or do as I no. They'll question. They're not just going to allow you to say anything without a response.
That's true.
I like that, and in that sense, we're all made better. And people you say, youth, young folk, you name it, leaders for tomorrow. They say, nope, hold it. We can lead right now. I'm good with that. You know, because I remember when I was coming through and I was knocking on the door as a young person. And I didn't like that, you know, young folk are leaders for tomorrow. No, let me lead right now. Okay? So I'm very, very optimistic about where things are right now. They do have that entrepreneurial spirit. They don't just subscribe to the notion that I have to work for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
When I have the mind and the creativity and I'm innovative enough to create my own thing. I like that. And I think our role, a person like myself's role, is to assist and to encourage them in achieving just that. And in large part, I won't just say get out of the way, but recognize when that talent is coming along, you want to encourage it and do everything you can to inspire them to go even further. I don't want people to do what I've done. Do more than what I've done.
I love that.
Okay. So if you're just trying to match what I've done, you know, what does that mean? So, you know, I want them to go beyond, do a hell of a lot more, break all of the glass ceilings, and then don't seek to be just the first, but be that second, third, fourth, fifth. When that happens, then we're truly making some progress.
I like that. I like that.
And make some money.
Oh yeah, it's not wrong making money.
No, I know it's not wrong. Anything wrong with making money.
Not
Now,
wrong
making money. I'm a
yeah.
capitalist.
Yeah.
So make some money. And if you want to be a excellent public servant, have your own money. Where you're not relying on somebody to pay for your breakfast, your lunch, or your dinner. Okay? That's when you can truly have an independent and powerful voice. Before I became mayor, for example, you know, I had my own law firm. You know, I was a partner in my own law firm. And what I would say to anybody aspiring to be a public servant, make your money before. Don't try to make your money during.
Okay.
Because you'll end up, if you're not careful, you'll compromise your values.
Okay.
So, you know, but I'm very, very optimistic about this coming generation.
Like that. Like that. Social media.
Yes, sir.
I want to know your likes and your dislikes about social media.
More people, in many ways, get their information from social media. That's good and that's bad. I mean, you don't have to rely on a television station or a newspaper. I can get things out right then and there. I like that. You don't have to, you don't necessarily have a filter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And you can deal with people in real time. That I like. The downside with social media is that people will say things on social media that they won't say to your face.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay?
Those are called, what's they called? Instagram thugs? I don't know.
I don't know what I call them cowards.
Uh-oh.
Because see, in my deal, if you have something to say to me, say it to me. But if you won't put your name, your real name on social media, and you coming up with all these fake names and talking all this crap, then you're a coward. So people will say things on social media that if we're sitting next to one another, standing, you won't say to my face. That's the downside. And then you'll put out misinformation because you have your own set agenda. So, if I say the sky is blue, you say the sky is green. And you could be wrong as wrong can be. But that's where you're coming from. And then people can say some hurtful things.
Yes.
Because not everybody is strong enough to read negative stuff about them and cast it aside.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes.
And it gets hard, you
Yeah.
know. And let me just say, let me include myself, because now there are times when I'm reading the thread, and I say to myself, now you don't respond. Don't.
You be wanting to go there?
And yeah, and I say, no, don't, just leave that alone. And then I keep looking at it, And then I said, oh, the hell with you on this. And then and then I respond. And then my daughter called and said, Dad, why did you go there? I said, I had a moment. 9 times out of 10,
It's okay.
you can throw that stuff, over your shoulder. But that's the downside. But social media, it has its place. I think people just have to be a lot more responsible. And then those who control social media, I think they have a responsibility as well.
I could dig it. I ain't gonna hold you here that much longer.
I'm good.
What would you like to say to the 18th district?
Our best days are ahead of us. We're going to continue the legacy of Shelia Jackson Lee. We're going to continue to provide stability. We're going to continue to attract resources into the district that's desperately needed. When it comes to innovation, when it comes to financial empowerment districts, when it comes to healthcare services that people need, healthcare, affordable housing, which is critically important. Those times are coming. And then at the same time, we need to make sure that we are participating in the electoral process more so than we have ever done before. We're not going to wait on somebody to come save us. We're going to save ourselves. And we're stronger when we're working together. So I'm excited about the future. If I had my brothers, Shelia Jackson Lee would still be here. But each one of us has to run our own race.
I like that saying.
And so you run your lap, and when your lap is finished, the baton has to be passed to the next person. In this case, I'm hopeful that people will pass that baton to me on November the 5th.
November the 5th. That's the
5th.
voting date?
Right.
Okay.
And I'm going to run my lap, and I'm going to run it hard, and then I'm going to pass it on to the next person after me. But I was talking to somebody, and they gave me advice. The first thing is what this guy said. He said, Sylvester, live your purpose. That was advice number 1, live your purpose. The second advice was tell your story. And the third advice is make life better for those less fortunate than yourself. And if you do all 3 of those things, the 18th will be better, and the world in which we live will be much better, and God will say amen.
Amen.
And that's where I look at it.
That's what it is. Let's give a hand clap for that. Listen, before I let you go, I got to put you on the spot, though.
You're a Rockets fan, right?
I'm a Lakers fan.
Oh, man, please.
But since we here,
Okay, I'm with you.
I want to ask you, give me your top 5 Rocket players of all time.
Oh, man. Hakeem is one.
Okay.
Of all times. My other guy that played with Hakeem.
Guard, forward.
Forward.
Who's the forwards that played?
Otis Thorpe was another. He was good.
He was aight. He was aight.
Yeah.
Come on, let's keep it real. We basketball fans around
He
here.
was good. And then
alright, yo.
And then my guy who was with the Slav Jammers at U of H, and then with Portland, and then
Talk about Clyde?
Clyde the
Yeah,
drive.
he's certified.
Okay. So
He gets a pass.
that's another one.
Yeah.
Steve Francis was good.
Shout out to Steve. He about to pull up too.
Steve Francis was good.
Okay, that's 3.
Okay.
Shout out to T. Yo, he is his list. Y'all giving him the. My bad.
Somebody said Yao Ming.
Oh, you got Yao in there?
I'm gonna put Yao.
Okay. Shout out to Yao.
Yeah, I mean he was good, and plus
He was all right.
Diversity is always good. Yao Ming, and then I got one more.
Oh, you got
Mike was good too.
my cousin?
Mike was okay.
Shout out to Mike James. He about to pull up.
Mike was okay.
Shout out to Mike James though.
This Moses
Big
Malone.
Moses? Big Moses?
Oh yeah, I can't leave out Moses.
Shout out to Big Moses.
Moses Malone, man.
Shout out to Big Moses, man. Word
But
up.
the Rockets have had some good players, and they got some good up-and-coming ones, too.
That's
They
a
are
fact.
high-flying.
Yeah, the Rockets, they looking good this year. Are they playoff bound?
I'm going to say yes. Okay? Because many people thought the Texans were not going to be playoff bound.
The Texans, I don't know what's up with the Texans. Let me stop. I'm in Houston.
What do you mean you don't know what's up with them? What's your problem, man? I'm going to ban you from the 18th.
Nah, I'm
rest
just
of this year.
saying.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, many folks thought that the Texans were not going to do nearly as well as they did.
You think they gonna do good this year?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They were
See,
talking about this the other day. Matter of fact, I was eating dinner. They was saying how
that
the
CJ,
Texans
I mean,
gonna be
the
up.
Stroud, oh, man, come on now.
Okay.
So they have gone beyond people's expectations. And I think the same, and winning breeds winning.
That's a fact.
So if you create a winning atmosphere in this city, others kind of catch on, and they go beyond their own expectations. And I've discovered that, and that's just life, period.
Mm-hmm.
So Texans, yes. The Rockets, I think they're gonna do well.
Yeah, they got a squad though.
You know, and they're highly entertaining.
Yes. Yes.
So
definitely must see TV.
Even when they're losing.
Yeah, they still like
Yeah, I mean,
you'll pull up.
you enjoy watching them. And then, of course, the Astros, they just,
Yeah, they're consistent.
yeah, they're consistent. They just do their thing.
That's what it is. Mayor Sylvester Turner. This is Say World Podcast. Everybody, let's give him a hand, please.
Thank you.
My brother, I appreciate you pulling up. Much love, much respect. We'll see you on November 5th, and
Thanks, JoJo.
it's all love.
Thanks, man. We continue to do what we do our part, man.
Thank you so
And
much.
look, and thank you for what you're doing.
Appreciate you.
I know you're going to Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
Don't stay there.
Don't stay there.
No, don't stay there.
It's popping in Atlanta.
No, but
I ain't gonna lie.
But you know, Houston.
I love it here, though.
Houston is the new Atlanta.
I love it here.
You know,
I love it. I love
but
it.
Atlanta's a good city.
Yeah, but I love Houston, though. I'm gonna keep it real. I love it here. This is one of the best cities in America.
In New York, I mean, still.
Besides New York, you know what I'm saying? But this is like one of the best cities in America.
Mayor Eric Adams, I like him.
Yes.
He's got a lot of swag.
Yeah. You know how we do.
Yeah, he got a lot of swag.
You know.
Good brother.
You know how we do. Listen, everybody, go to the Say World Podcast page. Go to the YouTube channel. This episode will be out possibly next Thursday.
Okay.
Man, I appreciate you. And yo, we up out of here.
The fastest growing podcast up in the world right now, you know. Say word. OnlyFans, real estate, talking in fashion, let them know what's happening.